All right, so today we're going to talk about the next element in building influence as a leader. All right, we talked about the fact that influence is imperative if you want to be a great leader. I'm not sure how you lead without it. We talked about loving and caring for your people being the most foundational element of that, right? That your people won't care about you. They won't care about your business. They won't care about your customers. If they don't know you care about them, why would they? They're certainly not going to care for a paycheck. They might get work done for a paycheck, but it won't be their best work. And they might get work done for a paycheck, but it doesn't mean they're going to go the extra mile or do the things they need to do to make your business great. All right, so we have to have that foundational element in place first. But this next thing I'm going to talk about today is probably the foundational element of every relationship, of every great team. And you'll hear great teams use this word a lot. You hear this a ton in the SEAL teams. Like, this one element has to be present if we're going to be a great unit. You hear it in sports teams. If we don't have this one element, we're not going to be a great team. And you definitely hear it in the workplace. And that word is trust. Good luck building influence without trust. It's just not possible, right? If I don't trust you, then there's no way in this world I'm going to allow you to influence me. Why would I have someone who I don't trust, or why would I listen to someone I don't trust? You ask me to do something, I don't trust you. Why would I go give my 110% to that thing? It just doesn't work that way. So as leaders, we have to understand that. I always talk about the cheat code to leadership is understanding people. Human psychology is the cheat code of life, but it is the one thing we need to do at a high level if we're going to be great leaders. And this plays right into that, because people won't give you their best. People won't give you their hearts. People won't give you everything they need to give you to be successful if they don't trust you. So we have to do things every day to build that trust. And yeah, and I'll acknowledge, as a leader, there's a lot we have to do, right? This is not an easy game. I ask people, how many great leaders have you known in your life? How many great leaders have you worked for and worked with? Most people can say one, maybe two. A lot of people will say none. The reason is because this stuff is hard, right? This is not easy. But if you want to be great at it, we're going to talk about how to do it. But it means you've got to do a lot of things. You got to be good at a lot of things. And so, yeah, I'm asking you, hey, you got to build influence. And I'm telling you, yeah, you got to love your people. And you got to show up every day and show that love and care for them. And you've also got to show up every day and do the things required to build trust. So let's talk about a few of them real quick off the cuff. Number one is do you have a relationship with your people? You know, it's one thing to love them and care about them, but if you don't take the time to get to know them and they don't know you, we're going to have a really hard time having trust. Right? In relationship, it can look different inside the workplace than it does outside the workplace. They don't have to be the same type of relationships that you have at home or with your friend groups, but there's got to be some semblance of a relationship there. You got to know a little bit about their lives. You got to know about their goals, what their dreams are. You got to know the things that make them tick, the things they respond to, their motivators. You got to know all of that. You got to have some kind of a relationship if you're going to have trust. And when you have a relationship with people, what you also have is understanding. And people want to know that you understand them. People want to feel heard. They want to feel seen. And it's our job as leaders to make them feel that way. Right? Your people, if you're going to build trust, they've got to know that you have the right motives, that you are coming from the right place. You're not here running this business just because we're trying to make money. That is a very fine goal to have, but that can't be the only goal. We're here for a reason. We're here for a mission. We want to be the best at this, or we're on a mission to change the world in these ways, or we want to offer this amazing product that no one else can offer. They got to know that your motives are pure and that your motives have their best interests in mind. Right? They got to know as a leader that you have credibility, right? They got to know you have ability, but they also got to know you have credibility. And I'm going to make a whole video series on credibility because it is an incredibly important part of influence and an incredibly important part of leadership. But you got to be credible, right? You have to be competent. You have to have high character. You have to be a confident leader. You got to be an authentic leader. You have to be somebody who models the behaviors that you want them to display. So you better be credible. right? And I just mentioned this. Another thing you need is high character. And I think this is the element that speaks to trust the most, right? How do you trust a low character, low moral, low ethics leader? You can't do it. So you better have high character. And then lastly, and here's the trick, and here's what makes this so difficult, is if you have a relationship with your team, you get to know your team, they trust your ability and your credibility, they know that your motives are pure, you're a good guy or girl, right? You're high ethics, high morals, high values. You've got all those things in place. Now here's the kicker with trust. We hear it in every element of our lives. There's got to be a track record of it. You have to show these things and display these things and prove that you are these things for an extended amount of time. Because as everyone knows, trust takes a long time to earn and a split second to lose. All right, so there's more that we can go into with building trust, but we'll save that for a later video. But this is a great framework. This is a great way to get you started. And as we're starting our journey on building influence with our team, we are first recognizing we need to have influence. Number two, we got to make sure that our team knows we love and care about them. And then we also have to check all the boxes we need to check on a daily basis for an extended amount of time to build the trust that we need to build. The relationships, the credibility, the character, the motives, and a track record of those things. And if you walk in every day with that mindset, that I'm going to care about my team, serve my team, and build trust with my team, you are halfway down the road of having great influence. There's a little more to the equation, which will come in separate videos, but it gets you a long way down the road if you just check those boxes. So I hope you take this to heart and ask yourself some pointed questions. Are you doing the things that we're talking about in these videos? Is your heart developed into a place where you do have the ability to love your team and not just see them as your workforce, or not just see them as a warm body or just paid labor? And are you doing the things every day to build trust? Because those things alone will separate you from 95% of the leaders out there. And then if you tack on the things we're going to talk about in the future videos, then you're well on your way to being an elite leader. And I talked about the fact that people cannot name more than one or two leaders in their life, if they're lucky, that they've ever looked at and said, that's a great leader. But if you do the things we talk about, you can be one of the people that the people around you look at and say, that was a great leader. That's somebody I'm trying to emulate. That's somebody I'm trying to be like. You have an opportunity to do that. But you got to take these things to heart. You got to have the humility to admit maybe we can do things differently. And you got to put these things into action. And if you do, I think you'll see unbelievable success. So we'll end it with that today. And I'll be back tomorrow with the next layer of building influence.